See my bid? 40 by 53 is the bid. So if you see the prints here, they're not late prints. They're current prints, MMTs. Anyway, welcome to After Hours on IBM. And I have a 3-minute tick chart up here, and I've been working very closely with the MMTs and not, is that after hours market with an earnings report on a bellwether is probably about one of the most manipulative and high-risk events you'll ever get yourself into. And if you don't know what you're doing and what to look for, then you have no business doing it. There's going to be a knee-jerk reaction. We're getting it now at 175.28, and I'm not sure what's going on with the earnings, but they're down. I'm going to put it on pause. It's not a knee-jerk, but we have printed down from the closing bell, and I'm going to have to find out what that report is. Here we go right now. I got Wynn Resorts that beat on the top line and the bottom line number. They closed up 164.89, and as I said over the weekend when we were looking at Wynn and these earnings that are happening now is that it's going to gap up, and now it's going to really gap up in what we call the short-term SMF extreme overbought cycle, and it could be a 1-day event, it could be a 3-day event, could be as many as 5 days, but they delivered the number. And we know that this gap here, and I'm going to get back to the IBM earnings here in a minute. Here I'm getting a pop in IBM. Here we go. I'm getting a pop over here in IBM. Here's that tick chart. It's live. It's 176. It's popping back up. It closed at 175.28. I've got prints going all over. They're just going every which way. Look at that. I'm dropping to 170. I gave Rick Goalie, you got a bid at 168.50. You keep it there, Goalie.
168.50.
You keep that bid at 168.50. Now, obviously, there is a problem. It's all over. It was just there. Let's see if it rebounds. Look at that there. There's got to be more to the pie. What is it going to be, MMT? Revenues are a couple $100 million more, 309 versus 302. Revs are 2.6 billion versus the 2.532 billion capital I2 consensus estimates. What they're seeing is they're raising their F11 non-GAAP EPS to at least 13.25 from at least 13.15 previously versus the 3.19 consensus MMTs. So, as I said, IBM would trade different than Wynn today and after hours, and we were already going into the good news on a stock that when we did the daily chart, we talked about it making 52-week highs going into the earnings report. So it had a big run going into the earnings report, but the earnings are good. So I got to find out more about U.S. earnings structure cycle versus the international earnings cycle. Once we can figure out what that is, we'll know more about what this move is. Just remember, the stock is overbought going into the earnings. It ran anticipation of a good earnings. So this drop down here, buy the rumor, sell the news, is quite normal. MMTs.